Know what that means? Let me know if you can hear me. Let's run that back. Sounds like a yes. Looks like a yes. Smells like a yes. All right, let's get into this thing. You know how we do.
God is dawn. Like and subscribe. Comment some night. Loving this light. Here's God is dawn. God is dawn. God is dawn.
Yes. Peace, world, peace. Welcome or welcome back. I am Goddess Dawn, the warrior, and I'm back live from LA on this Thursday, August 19th, 2021. Day two of R. Kelly's New York RICO trial. Yeah, we're here for it. I'm back though this evening with all the recaps. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the notification, and so you can hang out with us tonight. But this live right now, it's part 3 of a series talking about the music industry and how the music industry enabled R. Kelly. There are dozens, if not more, of executives, assistants, just people who are either turned a blind eye or actually had a hand in helping this man get away with his alleged crimes for decades. And I'm talking about him. So today I'm profiling Rocky Bivens. He's here in this picture with R. Kelly. And he's a longtime associate of R. Kelly's. So I want to start off by getting to this interview. And we'll learn more about him. There's not a lot about him out there, but enough. So let's get into it. So this is coming from voyageatl.com, and it says, meet Rocky Bivens of Biv Global Management in Midtown. Today, we'd like to introduce Rocky Bivens. Rocky, please share your story with us. How did you get to where you are today? He says, I started my journey into the music industry in 1994 when I met up-and-coming superstar by the name of R. Kelly. I met him at a club called Cotton Club in downtown Chicago, Illinois. I need to interject real quick because I was live last night and I was talking about him and I couldn't remember. I was like, I thought he left in 2018. So maybe I was thinking of someone different. Because when I went back and looked, so he met him in 1994. That was the same year he married Aaliyah, which in a different article, he admits to being present. And he said he stayed with him. So he was with him for 14 years. So it takes us to 2008, which is the year of the infamous trial for the sex tape. I hate to say sex tape, but why he had the trial in 2008. But that's when he left. So it kind of made me feel like, well, maybe he is one of the good guys who decided I can't do this. But we'll see. We'll see what he says. Let me check and see who's here in the chat. I apologize. What's happening? All right. So my warriors are here. Love Warrior in the building. Spirit is here. All right. Wow, Wayne. Yeah. All right. Let's see who else is here. I saw a couple people. Flawless Beauty. All right. What's happening, Flawless? It's been a minute. Good to see you. Who else is here? All right. And a couple people in the bushes. Cool. This is not a long live. This is just a live. I'm highlighting today Rocky Bivens. I'm going to highlight some of these executives and people who were in the music industry with R. Kelly during his rise and fall. And just to highlight some of these people and their role in his alleged crimes. So back to Rocky's interview. So he, he said he met him at the Cotton Club in downtown Chicago in 1994. And I believe Rocky was 21 at that time, 21 years old. It says, we played one game of basketball after we met at a gym called Hoops, which at the time was famous because it was where you could always find Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen playing pickup games. At this particular game, they were present to watch Rob and I defeat a big time crew for a lot of money. Okay, so he met R. Kelly he says he met him at the gym and they played a pickup game together. They won some money, and that's how they met. Okay, and R. Kelly at this time, he's known. It's not like he's just singing on the street corners. So it goes on to say, shortly after that, Robert invited me on his world tour, the 12-play Very Necessary tour, featuring Salt and Pepper and Escape. All right, now I feel like there's some missing things. Like, so you meet the guy at a basketball game at the gym, and then shortly after that, he's inviting you on his world tour. Like, what? This is where I'm like, okay, what is really going on? You understand what I'm saying? Candy Cane, welcome. Yeah, I'm just making sure I got everybody. All right, cool. So what is he doing going on tour with the man he just really kind of met? You know what I'm saying? This is kind of what makes me feel like he might have been more of a boyfriend than a homie. But this thing goes on to say, I began just being Robert's personal security and watching his back until one day Rob and his brother Killa got into a fight, and Robert kicked his brother off tour because Killa was the one performing with Rob every night in front of 20,000 people. Whoever wrote this did not punctuate. Okay, so it goes on to say, Robert felt that I could fill his shoes since I stood on stage every night watching the show. All right. So again, this is like a red flag for me. Like, really? So you were just standing on stage. You were just like hanging out, and him and Killa get into a fight. He kicks Killa out of the situation, off the tour. And then he says, hey, you've been standing around. Come on up here on stage with me. I mean, what? When did R. Kelly ever give anybody that type of opportunity? And this guy is not even a performer by trade or by talent. All right. So he goes on to say, while performing, I met two significant people who came to see R. Kelly, Jermaine Dupri and Tupac Shakur. Says JD invited me to Atlanta and asked me if I wanted to work for So Def, but I had my sights set on his female group Escape. So another weird thing to me, like, so you get this opportunity, all of a sudden you're just standing in the shadows, and all of a sudden it's like, come get on stage and perform with me every night because fuck my brother. And he does that, and while doing that, he meets Jermaine Dupri, who invites him to come work for So Def, like, just like that. I mean, I don't know what is going on, what they put in the sweet tea, but the tea is sweet. That's all I'm gonna say. The tea is sweet. Yeah. So from there, let's go back here. So he says he was more interested in Escape. He said, I eventually worked my way in close enough to end up managing Escape. So he says he worked his way in. What does that mean? Well, we're going to find out. It then says Tupac insisted that I begin managing artists because he was impressed by the way I was able to move R. Kelly around so often. So Tupac, of all people, talked to this guy and said, you need to be a talent management the way you handle R. Kelly. Because I'm assuming R. Kelly probably already at this time had this diva-like reputation. And people probably knew he was difficult. And for the fact that this guy seemed to have a handle or a hold over R. Kelly, R. Kelly's letting him do all kinds of stuff. Come on stage with me. Come on tour with me. I don't know you, but come with me. Something was going on with this guy. He had some magic dust around him or something. Little opportunity, golden opportunity halo around him. I don't know. But Tupac, was impressed with this guy. People noticed him because of R. Kelly and how he dealt with R. Kelly. He said Pac would remind me of my skill set because it wasn't easy to move him around. So he said it wasn't easy to move him around. Like I said, he was a difficult guy. I don't know who these people are who want to say R. Kelly's so sweet and he's so nice and he's so giving and he does this and he does that. Because he doesn't. He don't do shit. He don't do nothing. He didn't do anything for a city. He doesn't do anything for people. We're going to keep reading this. You're going to see. Let me come over, though, well, let me finish this and then I'll come over into chat if y'all have something to say. I want to get into it. Goes on to say, after I started managing Escape, Barry Hank. So he just, so he got in with Jermaine Dupri, who then, I guess, allowed him to get in and start managing Escape. Okay. He said that, okay, so he got in, he was managing Escape. I lost my place. Okay. After I started managing Escape, Barry Hankerson told me I would be running a new record label After I started managing Escape, Barry Hankerson told me I would be running a new record label named after me called Rockland, which was a joint venture between Interscope, Jimmy Iovine, and R. Kelly. All right. So now we introduce Barry Hankerson into the picture. And Barry Hankerson gives him a label. He said, we're going to name a label after you, dude. What? This guy is magic. Like, what? He knows how to manifest, or he knows how to do something real good, because he is getting door after door after door open for him. And he was walking through them as he should have. It says I assembled what I called a dream team for Escape, which consisted of an up-and-coming attorney by the name of Larry Rudolph, and we've heard of him, and the famed business manager Bert Padell. Quickly, the industry got notice that R. Kelly's right-hand man was managing artists, and the rush began. So I want to go back real quick to Bert Padell. Bert Padell is very known. He has people like Biggie Smalls, throwing him in a verse, and other artists too. You know what I'm saying? Handling more cash than Bert Padell, because Bert Padell was the man. He worked with hip hop artists. He was an old school mob guy. Like, he knew how to handle that money, and he was somebody who was very, I guess, open to working with hip hop artists, because a lot of those old Jewish guys weren't doing that. But he was a smart man, because these guys were making a lot of money. They didn't know what to do with that money or how to manage it. So, he linked up with him and Larry Rudolph. We'll get into that because I think it says it here. Goes on to say, quickly the industry got noticed that R. Kelly's right-hand man was managing artists. Oh, okay, I said that. He said, I signed Britney Spears with Larry Rudolph, and Larry Rudolph has been Britney Spears' manager up to like now. I think he just quit recently. It was in the news because she announced she was going to retire. And he said, well, hell, what do I need to be here for? After he done milked her for all this money all these years, could just stay out of loyalty. But this guy, Rocky Bivens, is taking the credit for linking the two of them together. He also said he went on to manage and sign Tamar Braxton to DreamWorks Records. So this guy is like a dang leprechaun in the music industry. So let me see. I'm over here in the chat. What y'all talking about? Let's see. Sis Bell. They want people around them to keep the demons from tormenting them 24/7. Yeah. How they do that? What he's doing, I ain't never seen. SMH is all sad. I hope they go down with him. They all knew better. Yeah, they all definitely knew better. Because mind you, 1994 was the year he married Aaliyah. And again, Rocky admitted to being present as a witness. So he was, in my opinion, he knew that girl was young. I mean, come on. He did the echo while sucking Rico sideways, and boom, got his label. He got it, didn't he? Okay, so let me go on because we ain't done. So it goes on. Overall, it's been relatively smooth. If not, what were some of the struggles along the way? And that's a good question, because all he's telling us right now are his wins, which there are a lot. So he says this definitely has not been a smooth road. I think that with any road to success, it's going to be hurdles. So you have to jump over them and get to the top. For example, after R. Kelly didn't give me a check on tour when everybody else was getting paid, and I was doing two jobs. Number one, security, and number two, performer. I decided that I never wanted him to pay me. So he decided he didn't want him to pay me. That's some bullshit. He wasn't getting paid, and he convinced himself that I don't want it because I'm gonna work my way. I'm gonna earn mine. Watch. Okay, so he says, I decided I never wanted him to pay me, and I used that motivation to begin my managing career. As long as I was around him, I could position myself to make my own money. So in the beginning, I was working for free, closing $20 million deals and not getting paid. And let's not forget, he said he was on stage in front of 20,000 people too, performing. He should have been getting paid. But the type of mentality R. Kelly has is kind of like, well, you getting these opportunities, you with me, you around all these people, you on stage, you this, you that, do it yourself. And that's exactly what he did. What do y'all think about that? Lasting impressions by Kim. Be safe driving and welcome back. We're talking about Rocky Bivens, one-time associate of R. Kelly's. He was there in the thick of things. Let's see. Bivens' excuse for his Rico Kelly was just sex. Like, wow, he tried to justify it. It was just sex. Are you saying that's Rico's excuse for turning a blind eye? Because I don't know if I took it that way. And I'm going to play the little video clip again. I played it before, but that where he talked about R. Kelly in the BBC interview. Yeah, he didn't want to pay nobody at all. Okay, go on to it's going on. All right, so the interviewer says, let's talk business. Tell us about Biv Global Management and what we should know. So he goes on to talk about his company. My company is a multifaceted entertainment company. We specialize in taking artists to a different mental level. Beyond the art, from business, finance to investments to building a portfolio that will allow them to retire early and become knowledgeable of what the world had to offer outside of entertainment. That is what sets me apart from other managers. I take artists and turn them into viable brands beyond their craft. What we are most proud of as a company is Latasha of Xscape, creating and building her Made Girl empire into multiple brands that will soon be a household name that she has already generated over 14 million for one brand and continuing to grow. Now, Latasha from Xscape is his wife. It hadn't mentioned that at this point. I think it does, though. Any shout out to who else deserves credit in this story? Who has played a meaningful role? He says, I most definitely have a lot of people to credit, beginning with my parents who are no longer with me. Barry Hankerson was the first person to teach me the music game and school me on how to negotiate. So he got his, he learned from Barry. It says Barry Rudolph. Larry is supposed to say Larry, says L. Barry, or Larry Rudolph showed me the legal side of the industry and allowed me to participate in all of his deals, to include Britney Spears. Clive Calder, owner of Jive Records, he saw that I was the one unique individual around R. Kelly. You hear that? The one unique individual. So what does that mean? Is that you're the one person that didn't put up with the shit, that didn't, go along with the get along? I think that's what he means. He said that Clive Calder allowed him to sign artists to his label. Craig Kallman, CEO of Atlantic Records, Craig, for the last 25 years, has continued to do deals with me, from artists to writers to producers for many hit records. John Platt, CEO of Sony Music Publishing, who's a big wig. I've actually worked with John myself a long time ago. He's a good dude. John has continued to allow me to give artists, writers, producers a chance to live their dreams and become wealthy while doing it, and remained a great friend in the process. My wife, Latasha, She has championed me along with our son Jamon, 2020 NBA draft pick. Throughout my entire career, it was her confidence in me that got me the Escape job, and the rest has been history. So there it is. So earlier in the interview, he said, I worked my way in to get a management role. So right now he's saying it was her confidence in me that got me the job. So he was working his way in through her. Yeah, he used her. So there's my take on Bivens, honestly. I feel like when he met R. Kelly and his relationship was that of a fling. I feel like they were messing around, child. And R. Kelly invited him on tour because he liked that milkshake and he wanted him to bring it to the yard night after night. That's my opinion. And I feel like Rocky, who was very motivated and to, come up, he wanted to be somebody. He used his connections and his way with R. Kelly to get what he calls to the top, which is where he still is. He's still married to Latasha. They have a son and I think a daughter also. They didn't mention a daughter. No, I think they have the son. That's right. Because she has a twin sister or sister, Tamika Scott, and I think she has the daughter. But yeah, so they have a son together who's, it says an NBA draft pick. It didn't say, we could easily find him. I'm sure if we Google, I think it's Jamon Scott. If anybody wants to Google him, NBA. But yeah, dude, like this story is interesting. So I want to show y'all him with his wife. All right, this little video, y'all might remember this when Escape was coming back. They had their little reality show and all this. So they're on the very right. That's Rocky on the right and Latasha standing there at the end. And now when I look at him, I see a manager. I don't see a husband. I see him going, yeah, girl, we sold these tickets. We got to put this show on. You know what I'm saying? I don't see husband like this, my wife. And he even looked over there at Tiny, like, hey, you better turn your head back right on over here. I would have popped him. Flawless said Barry needs to be behind somebody's bars. Girl. Ring the bell on that. Barry is somebody, I want to hear Barry's first name when they introduce witnesses. If I hear Barry, oh man, we're going to get some good testimony if he's going to tell the truth. But I doubt that I doubt it. He himself has his own troubled history. He's going to be another profile, but I'll have to wait on him because it's just too much to get into with Barry Hankerson. But, so yeah, Rocky Bivens. This is, let me show y'all what he had to say. I have played this before, but it's a really short clip and I'm going to play it again so we can understand what he literally says about R. Kelly and his time with R. Kelly. Let's see. Okay.
Were there ever any times that you were like, oh, this woman looks kind of young?
No, there's been several times where I've had to say, like, no, that's not going to happen, because of the age of the person. So, if I was involved, like, how old are you? I'm 16. No, you got to go. I didn't care if he got mad at me because it was a choice for me. When it came to sex, it was sex to Robert.
Despite the age.
If a girl was in a room and she had a big booty, she had a big booty. If she was 15 or 20, she had a big booty to him. Period.
Were there ever any times?
Wow. So, hey, that says it all to me. He's basically just saying, and he's saying when he was around me, I didn't put up with that shit. I asked how old they were, like that. So that tells me right there, you know what he's doing. You knew what he was doing. You knew other people were turning their blind eye or even helping him. And you are saying he's trying to separate himself at this point. That's what I get from him actually coming out, because he didn't have to come out. He didn't have to say anything, but he's making sure to come out because he knows that people knows he was with R. Kelly during that period. He was at Aaliyah's wedding as a witness. Let me look and see where that is. There's an article. Okay, so the initial article we even got all these people's information from, and I put the link at the time in the it's to the Washington Post. But it had all the executives he worked with and the assistants and all that, and talking about all these encounters. Well, this is Rocky talking about how he was talking to, let's see, who was he talking to at this time? He was talking to David McPherson. David McPherson was an Epic Records executive, and he enlisted Kelly to help launch B2K, which is where Bivens was asked to be an assistant to R. Kelly during this. Now, we know B2K has its own background, and for them to be affiliated with that too is something else to be, you know, uncovered even more so. Let's see, it says, David McPherson of Epic Records enlisted Kelly to help launch the label's New York boy band B2K when he asked Rocky Bivens, a Kelly assistant, about the infamous child pornography videotape, which prosecutors claim depicts Kelly having sex with an underage girl, but for which the singer was acquitted in 2008 after the young woman refused to testify. They keep saying young woman. I guess at the time she was a young woman. In quotes, it says, "Did you watch the tape?" Bivens recalls asking, according to the Post. McPherson told him he had not. Bivens said he hadn't either. In quotes, "Because Dave, if I watch the tape and that's him, I'm gone. And you're not getting those records." Bivens said he told McPherson, "I'm glad you did not watch the tapes." And I'm assuming that's McPherson telling him that because he wants the music and he don't care about the tapes. McPherson don't give a damn about no young black girls. I think Rocky did, but for Rocky, it was out of sight, or what is it? Out of mind, out of sight, out of mind, or it doesn't exist if I didn't see it. I mean, I think that's the mentality he was rocking with. This shit it's incredible. And here's something else on him I found. Rocky Bivens, R. Kelly's ex-manager, told Benjamin Zand, who is the guy who was the reporter in the BBC documentary, that, quote, "It would be wrong of me to call him a pedophile if he's sick. I'm saying if I was to call him now, it would be clinically, or what's the terminology, deemed as a pedophile by definition. Yes," he's saying. Yes, if that's what we have to call it, that's what it is. So, and I'm looking for the little blurb about the wedding. Let's see. BBC Three then contacted Kelly's ex-business manager of 14 years, Rocky Bivens, who alleged for the first time that the purported wedding between a 27-year-old Kelly and a 15-year-old Aaliyah did, in fact, take place. While reluctant to discuss the topic at first, Bivens ultimately claimed that he was present at the 1994 ceremony. Okay? He was there. And I saw somebody in the chat, I'm not on that chat page, but say something like he needs to be testifying also. So if you hear the name Rocky get announced, that Rocky was a witness for today or is a witness, we know it's Rocky Bivens. And he should be testifying to confirm the wedding and to talk about the wedding. It sounds like he hasn't discussed details publicly, but he did say he was there. Right below this, actually, it talks about Lavelle Jones. Lavelle Jones is one of R. Kelly's former backup singers. He had his own group with his twin brother, I think, and another person also. I had done an interview with him back in 2019 in December. Now he's coming on tonight, y'all. Yeah, Lavelle Jones will be joining us this evening. I hope he don't forget. He is in Chicago. I don't want to say where he's at, but basically he's out of my time zone. So I'm hoping, he's a pretty solid guy. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna commit. He actually is excited to come on. So But what Lavelle said here in this article, he says, Lavelle Jones, one of Kelly's backing singers, asserted that it was difficult for women to turn down the artist's advances. It says, quote, how do you defend yourself against someone who's been honing their skills as a predator for 25 years, who's also a multimillionaire and one of the most successful artists in the music industry? There's no defense for that. Yeah, shout out to Lavelle Jones for speaking that truth. So, yeah, that's what's going on. Let's see. I'm going to face a whole joint if they call Barry on my mama. I hope they call Barry. Queen, he needs to be subpoenaed to testify as well, and should have went to the police. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Great information. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. No one from Kel's past music industry wants to be linked to him. That is true. Time's up, son. Yeah, time's up, baby. Time's up. Let's see. Yeah. So Rocky Bivens. One thing about Rocky Bivens is he's talking. He's out there. He's done interviews. He was at the wedding. He said he was at the wedding, which confirmed it was a wedding. There's people out there who still say there wasn't a wedding. There wasn't a wedding. This is a lie. It wasn't a lie. It wasn't. Just as the member in public announcement, he walked in on R. Kelly and Aaliyah when she was 14. Oh yeah, all these people need to be brought to task and brought to accountability. Y'all don't want to miss tonight's live. That's right. Yeah. Well, I just announced, ain't no surprise. Well, Lavelle Jones, former backup singer, is going to be joining us this evening to weigh in on everything. I did interview him back in December 2019. You can go back into the archives to find the Lavelle Jones interview. If you want to go back there, you can also find Michelle Kramer and Jim DeRogatis. Yep. Shout out to all those people. So I appreciate y'all. Yeah, please tune in tonight. I am doing it a little earlier. So my time, it's like 5:15, which is 8:15 East Coast. And yeah, Lavelle Jones reported him to police and the label. Shout out to Lavelle Jones. I'm glad you remember that, honestly, because I don't remember a lot of things that I do, because I do a lot of shit. But I do appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all later on today with a recap of today's trial updates. Yeah, we are in day 2 of the R. Kelly New York RICO trial. That's right. That's right. We are here. We are here. We are here. And we'll see y'all later. Till then, peace.